talking, I don't sweat that. If they don't trust me either, I respect that. But she need down the ride, oh I bet that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that. Don't forget that, don't forget that. Ooh, I slide for my people, don't forget that.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is JH. How y'all doing, Postal family? Is everybody good? Is everybody cool? Everybody clean? Are you crisp? Are you feeling irie today? Let's talk. We're going to talk about USPS, orientation, and what to expect on your first few days of orientation. I did this video a long time ago and things have changed since way back when. If you don't know who I am, welcome to my channel. I am JH. I am the voice of the voiceless. Need not look anywhere else because I'm going to give you the information that you need to hear, not the information you want to hear. So let's talk. USPS orientation. It took you a long time to finally get your orientation date, and now you're set to go to orientation. First day of orientation is just that, 1 day now. It used to be 2.5 days. Now it's 1 day. What is it going to entail? It's going to entail somebody sitting in front of you playing a bunch of videos. You need to stay awake for these videos. They give you a lot of pertinent information. Don't go in there and fall asleep. You are getting paid for orientation. They're giving you all the information. Initially, a majority of the information that should be helpful for you in order to move forward. Few different crafts. You have all the crafts have to go through orientation. Let's just put it like that. Everybody moves different directions after your orientation. We're going to talk about the carrier craft. We're going to talk about the motor vehicles craft. We're going to talk about the mail handlers. We're going to talk about the clerks. So just stick around if you want some of this information, because that's what I do. I transfer that information so you are well prepared. Orientation. You're going to sit there and listen to videos. There's going to be somebody talking. You're going to be talking about safety. They're going to be talking about the investments in TSP. They're going to talk about your career. It used to be 2.5 days, like I said, but now they just have you sitting there filling out a bunch of paperwork. So make sure you come in there with all your documents if necessary. Another main thing for you to come in there with is be dressed well. Don't come in there like you're dressed to go to the club. Don't come in there like you're dressed to go like you're hanging out in the streets. You come into a professional environment, present yourself professionally. Next thing is that you have to definitely stay awake. Give your instructor, whoever it is that's conducting the orientation, the respect to be awake during the class. You're being paid for it. All right. Once you're done with your orientation, depending on your craft, they tend to give you a notice to report. Whether you are going to report for your shadow day, if you're carriers, or a shadow day basically with your clerks, they'll send you to your station to jump right into it. If you're a truck driver, they'll send you basically a date to come back and actually take your test. If you're a carrier, you're going to have to come back and take a test. Here goes. Clerks, they gave you your notice to report. Now you're going to be showing up to work. Make sure you have the proper footing on. All right, don't show up there with the wrong type of shoes. You will need some closed-toed shoes. Make sure you go there with some closed-toed shoes and be dressed to work. You are going to get dirty. You're going to feel uncomfortable. Your back's going to hurt. Your body's going to hurt. Be ready for anything. All right? Just be ready for anything. Also, during your first few days of, your first day of orientation, they give you that form in order to fill out for your direct deposit. You do not collect your first check under your direct deposit, you will have to go back to your station. Make sure that you take a picture of your form that you have to fill out in order to get paid. They call it a 1260. Make sure you take a picture, have it for your records. For some reason, between your orientation and your actual station, sometimes they don't get that paperwork, or management loses your paperwork. But so long as you keep a record for yourself, you'll be covered. You make sure that you go and ask them, when is this pay period? That's the one thing that you should know. When is this going to be? What pay period am I going to be paid for this specific day that I'm working? Because people will come in there on a Monday and think they're getting paid that Friday. It doesn't work like that. If we already got paid that Friday before that and you came in on that Monday, you're going to have to wait a couple weeks before you get your first paycheck. They may not tell you that, but make sure that you keep that 1260 picture in your phone. You went to do your orientation. You are at the station as a clerk. Just be prepared for everything. All right. Go in there with open ears. Pay attention. Ask as many questions as possible. The type of people you're going to encounter, it's going to fluctuate to the very friendly person to the person that doesn't want to be bothered. Unfortunately, that's what you're going to have to deal with. Let's talk about the truck drivers. Truck drivers, you did your orientation. Now you got to go and take your driving test. All right. Driving test. You came in there with the commercial driver's license. That means you need to know how to drive. Unlike the carriers, when you go in there, they're not instructing you on how to drive. You came in there saying you know how to drive. They're going to conduct whatever test is necessary for whatever position you got. If you're just a MVS driver and you're a Class B, they're going to have you perform everything in a straight truck. If you are a Class A, they're going to have you perform in a tractor trailer as well as a straight truck. The same test that you took when you got your commercial driver's license, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to drive, you're going to have to back up, you're going to have to offset back, you have to blindside back, you have to parallel park, everything that involves tractor trailer operators. Understand, you came in there with a commercial driver's license saying that you can drive. That's what you said. That's what the requirements were. That's what the drop down says when you apply for the job. All right. Are there any tips for it? Just know how to drive. If you know how to drive a truck, it should be second nature to you. When you get into your building after you pass your test, first few days, you're going to encounter a bunch of truck drivers, and they will explain how to use the scanners. They'll explain very little. You may shadow somebody for a few days, then they're going to throw you out on a route. Figure it out. I'm not being funny. That's exactly what they do. As truck drivers, we come in there with a profession. So you just kind of just grab the ball and run with it. All right. It's just, again, it's one of those things. You're supposed to know how to navigate. You're supposed to know how to figure things out. There are going to be situations where you should say, hey, I'm going to a specific station. Anything I need to know? How do I get in there? Etc. All right. Keep that in the back of your head. Any questions that you have, ask them before you leave, all right? This whole place is about time. Don't be stuck trying to figure out how to get in the station and you're sitting right out front of the station and can't figure out how to way to get in. Now, for the carrier craft is a little bit different because they have to go and take the driving training. They do a shadow day. They got to go to an academy, etc. For any of the carrier crafts, any of them, whether a rural carrier, city carrier, you're going to have to go to do your shadow day initially. You do a shadow day after your orientation. Give your notice to report, be there on time, dress appropriately, bring as much water as you possibly can because you are going to be uncomfortable 100%. Women are going to be uncomfortable 100%. If you are not accustomed to doing manual labor, this is going to be a shell shock to you. This is facts, no sugarcoating. Once they send you there, you're going to go to a station and certain scenarios, they'll say, oh, wrong station. You got to go to a different station. Just go with the flow until you get situated. They will have you come back for a defensive driving class. Now, The order may change different parts of the country, but this is typically how it goes. The defensive driving class. This is where you got to sit in front of an instructor again, and they talk about all the safety aspects about you driving. It's about 4 or 5 hours. It's part of the curriculum. At that point, they give you a notice to report again. The notice to report again will entail a date for you to come back and actually take your driving test. That's what's going to happen. They have a course set up typically, and you have to come out there and perform on the right-hand drive vehicle, whether it be an LLV or an FFV. They'll explain that in that class. Some areas only give you one chance, other places give you two. Once you complete that, then they set you up to go to an academy specifically to deliver mail. Teaches you how to case your mail, teaches you how to deliver your mail, everything having to do with that. The academy is now 4 days in my area. I'm pretty sure it's the same nationwide. So again, you had your orientation, you had a shadow day, you had your DDC class, then you have to wait until they fill that class up for your academy, another 4 days. It doesn't come right back to back. This is a little stretched out period. 4 days there. And then finally, once you learn how to deliver mail and you've got certified to drive the vehicles, then you start. Once you get to your station, you may have a few more days with an on-the-job instructor. It may be 2 days, it may be 3 days, definitely not enough days. And then they throw you to the wolves. That's how the orientation in the first few days tend to go. Now, on a side note, if you've continued watching this video, maintenance mechanics and all the other crafts that come in there with specialized skills from mail handlers. Well, mail handlers, let's talk about you as well. Mail handlers, it's more of a, I'm being serious, more of a free-for-all. They bring you in for your orientation, then the next day you're reporting and you're gonna be with a on-the-job instructor. They put you next to a machine, say, hey, do this, do that, or they put you on the dock, hey, do this, hey, do that. You're pretty much the muscle of the post office. You're moving mail, you're handling the machines, you're handling the equipment, you're going from one spot to another, and that you definitely need the proper footing and shoes for that job. I always suggest get yourself some small rubber gloves, not the ones that we use, surgical gloves, but something for your hands, because if you're grabbing them, any of the machines or you're grabbing any of the equipment, easily pinched. So make sure you have your fingers covered. Keep them, roll them up, put them in your back pocket. Be comfortable. There is no real dress code for them as well. So just a side note, I won't go in there no damn jogging pants. I see people in jogging pants. That's not really appropriate, but whatever works for you. Again, you're working in a plant environment. Please make sure that you have the proper footing, because if you don't have the proper footing, at the end of the day, your feet are gonna hurt, your back's gonna hurt, your body's gonna feel really uncomfortable. And that's pretty much for all the crafts. Every specific craft may have a different criteria for their footing, but definitely the mail handlers, you need to have something good on your feet. When you got the mechanics, the maintenance mechanics, is totally different. But they're probably not watching my videos anyway. They come in there with a specialized craft and they know what to do. You can't tell a regular mechanic, okay, well, come in here and make sure you bring your tools. That's common knowledge. They're gonna go in there, they're gonna whoop ass and do what they need to do. Those are the ones that really, they don't worry about much. Once they're in there, they're coming in as career and they're coming in to knock the shit off. They're just about to do their thing. Now you have other clerks, the clerks that are going to the plant. Now those clerks are the distribution clerks. No, processing clerks, processing clerks. And they work at the plant. They're gonna be on their feet all day. You get to your station, they will, not the station, they'll get you a plant and they'll teach you how to use the few machines that you have to use. They're gonna be implementing some more machines, but it's very basic. You are basically operating a machine or some form of machine that processes mail. That's what you are, a processing clerk. Very repetitive work, but again, your body will not feel comfortable because you'll be on your feet all day, all day. I have other videos telling you how to, your footing and everything, and the specifics of each job. I have videos about that. But your first few days, make sure that you are as comfortable as possible. Definitely open your ears, listen. And again, you're going to have a lot of negative, you're going to have a lot of positive. Filter it out for yourself and try to be as positive as you can. If you come in here with a bad attitude or watching or one of those that complains a lot, you won't last long. A lot of this is just learning, retaining information, and applying it the best way you can. The job at the post office, the career working for the post office is not for everyone, not by a long shot. There are a lot of turnover because a lot of people cannot handle the management, the type of work, the people that you have to deal with. And it's again, I keep emphasizing the word uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. And this is truth behind it. There are people that have been there 15, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years that have gotten accustomed to it and things were different and they just adapted to the current situation. New people coming in, it's a shell shock. I will only reiterate the fact that at the end of the day, the job, the career, once you are established here, is good. If you take all the other foolishness out and put it to the side, you have a long lasting career. That is the main point of this. So get past your orientation, get past your shadow days and your on the job training, get past the frustration of not being trained properly. And after that, you are looking at something good. All right. That's as truthful and as respectful and as positive as I can possibly be about it. If you want more information about other things that go on, just scroll down. I got so much information about the jobs, about the people, about the unions. Just look it up for yourself. But hopefully this information was helpful for some people. Don't be scared. Come on in, grab the bull by the horns. When you see people that say, man, why are you here? You shouldn't be here. Leave the job, run as fast as possible. Never let that deter you because they're still there. They're still there. They may not like the situation they're in, but don't, you block the negativity the best you can. My name is JH, and I'm done with this video.
Unexpected expenses stressing you out? Get the money you need now with Loans for Feds, a program designed specifically for federal employees. Bad credit is not a problem. Application is fast and easy with same-day approvals. Apply now.